Hey guys, welcome to the Nick and Nick, the Insurance Dude podcast. This is episode 4. I'm here with my fearless co-host, Nick Gardner, or as he's better known in his neck of the woods, Nick from State Farm. And today we are just going to kind of free flow again, chat about some of the things that we've been dealing with in life and work. And it should be a good podcast. So how you been doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, great. Weather's beautiful here in sunny North Georgia. Man, can't really complain. Woke up 6 feet up, not 6 feet under. So after that, it's extra credit, right?
Yes, sir, it is. There's a guy that, the security guy that sits downstairs in our building. Every morning I walk in and he's like, "How you doing this morning?" I'll repeat this to the day I die, but I'm blessed and highly favored. And, I'm happy to be putting my feet on the ground when I get out of bed. I'm happy to be in an office that supports what I do, what we're doing here. It's cool to be in this element. And then like when Perry or Derek or somebody walks in, they're like, "Oh, keep going, keep doing your shit." That's pretty cool. So I am super blessed to be here, man.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
So it's been another week. You got any successes to talk about?
Absolutely. I will tell you that because of the podcast, I have officially received my first client from this format and what we're doing. And that's super cool for me.
Dude, hell yeah, that's awesome. Really?
Oh, yeah. So I will write that policy today. I've been confirmed, just waiting for said individual to get off work, really. I mean, that's it. So it's really humbling because I think we've talked about this. In fact, I know we have. My whole goal with this was to document and to at least reach one person. And now I've started that momentum, and it's just super cool to get to share my experiences with you because you have so much to give back. I mean, you've had so much success in this business, and it's not that you just woke up one day and you were an overnight. You've busted your ass and gotten to where you are with intent and purpose. And it's just really cool that, you have so much to bring to the table. And because of that, I'm now eating off of what you built in a sense. I'll make a little bit of commission off the policy, and that money goes towards feeding my son. So inevitably that is a derivative of what you have done. And that's just awesome to me. So yes, sir.
Well, I think it's what we're both doing, and that is that's amazing. So they watched the podcast and just thought, you know what, that guy is so damn sexy. Let me give him a call. I want to buy some health insurance from that guy.
I guess I don't, I didn't get that far into it. I just know that they have seen the podcast. Because of that, they now understand what you and I both bring to the table from a business standpoint. And
nice.
I think this really edifies who we are. It gives people a chance to see the real Nick and Nick. And, we talked about who we are and who we are now because of some of the things that have happened to us. And we both bring so many different variables to the table, and we do have a lot of parallels, but there are a lot of opposites. And, it's really cool for me to be able to bask in that in a sense. And if I can, make some money off it, cool. It's never really the intention of what we're doing, but hopefully one day this will be, we won't be just famous in Indonesia. We'll be famous in the United States too.
Man, if we keep crushing it in Indonesia, wherever, man, hey, we're going international,
Absolutely.
US is cool and all, this Western world is great, but if we can dominate over in Asia, man, I'm all about that, might have to make like a world tour. Nick and Nick go on tour.
It's funny. So I did a live video last week, I think, on my Facebook, and I did it just on my personal page. And about a minute in, I don't know if I told you this, but I had someone from Kenya that was like, "Hey, we're watching from Kenya." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Mr. Worldwide," so it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that definitely speaks volumes to the internet and how connected we are.
Yes.
And, I think that is really cool. Well, man, that's awesome. Congratulations.
What about you? What successes or failures or what lessons have you learned this week?
Successes or failures? Some successes. Man, I've been chasing one of my clients for quite a while, since about this time last year, on a pretty big life case. And, it took me about 3 times. We submitted an application. The application never actually came to fruition. Coronavirus happened, and I've kind of backed off, but I've followed up several times since. And finally was able to touch base this week, and we set an appointment to reach out next, or set an appointment next week to circle back around and look at getting something in place. So, that right there in a nutshell is there's some big takeaways. One, never quit, never give up. And
Correct.
two, if you think that you're going to talk to someone and sell them the very first time you talk to them, I mean, you might, but it's like thread the needle. That's like just knocking it out of the park. It's like expecting to get up to bat and having a walk-off grand slam every single time that you're at bat. And that's unrealistic, right? And so I think the average is about 12 to 15 touches is what I've seen anyway. And it's pretty consistent across the board for sales, but I do think that with what we do, it is going to take, multiple touches to, not only that first interaction where you get to actually get to know them and figure out what you're dealing with, then they might have to go, now I come back and, hey, I've got some options for you. We like to go, like a good, better, best scenario where we don't just give you one option. When I sold cruises, we did like an either or, right? You're getting one, which one do you want, right? You give them options. And here we actually do like a good, better, best scenario. And so you got to roll out those options, and then obviously they have to think about it, kind of mull it over. And so it's going to take some time, man. It's definitely going to take some time to, build, the confidence in them, the trust there. They've got to be able to trust you, with their money. But yeah, so that was a really cool, I mean, it's just an appointment. That's all it is. But I consider that a win, being that where we were, where we started, and now where we're at. So that was cool. Aside from that, man, one of my team members here is just absolutely knocking it out of the park. He's in his first full month on the phones, and he's killing it for us. He's really killing it.
What's his name? Ethan, right?
Ethan. Yeah.
Shout out to old Ethan.
Yeah. We'll have to get him on the podcast one day. This guy, man, he's just young and super eager. I've got one on his heels, Katie, who she just got her license in place last week. And so I've got to spend some time over the next couple of weeks to develop her and kind of impart, some knowledge into her. And it'll be interesting to see once I've got two producers. I've also got Kathy who works remote for us, but once I have the two full-time sales producers, now we kind of get like a battle going.
Yeah.
And there's some friendly competition. I still try to stay in the mix as well, but I also try to push some stuff off to them. But yeah, it's fun. So watching him thrive and flourish in a very new environment that he's only 22. He doesn't have a lot of life skills. I mean, he's never bought a house. He's never bought a car. So to take where he's at in life, but also, be able to have these big conversations about umbrella policies and quoting households and stuff like that, talking about life insurance. It's really awesome, man. And I think for me, the sales, the accolades, the awards, all of that is really auxiliary. When the position that I am in now as a coach, as an agency owner, is the most exciting thing for me is whenever I've taken someone from the interview process to licensing, and they buy into this idea that like, hey, I can come and work with this guy and he's going to teach me everything he knows, and then I should be successful. They buy in like, all right, yeah, hell yeah, he bought what I'm selling. And then when they get in here and they actually apply what you are teaching them and they achieve success on their own, that to me is the most rewarding, feeling of watching your team members succeed and figure it all out. That, and also, taking care of our customers and seeing when people come in and they've got crappy insurance coverage and, they're on the hook for a lot more of a accident than they like. And we explain that and they fully understand how the policy works, and they're walking out with more value, better coverage, and they're protected all around. That's really rewarding as well. But yeah, man, so it's been a great week. And we got it's the 22nd. So we got 8-9 days left in the month. Potentially on pace to have our best month ever. And yeah, I'm in year 4. So, we could have our best month ever that I've had as an agency. So that'd be cool. Be exciting to talk about that in a couple weeks. We'll have to
Absolutely.
follow up and
I
talk.
think we will have to talk about it because I got a feeling you're gonna get it there. So, you know, something we spoke of earlier, and I think that it kind of comes back into the successes and the failures, and you know, what wins are we getting, and you know, to your point, I believe fortune is the follow up. The fact that you had the relentlessness in the sense to continue to follow up even with no response or even with a negative response. And you know, it's not that he told you to fuck yourself and go eat a dick, but he did never answer you. And look, man, I was talking to an agent in my office about this yesterday. We sat down and talked about what he's doing in the follow-up game. How is he, communicating with these people? What tools is he using to do so? And, I'm like, well, how many times have you followed up with these people over the past 2 months? He was like, well, like 6. I'm like, dude, you're only halfway there, bro. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, you have to be able to get told no. And I think that is not often preached in this business. Well, at least to most people, because, after 2 or 3 months or 4 months in sales, dude, you're not, the likelihood of you being successful in that short amount of time is not going to be what you hope it is. And that's tough for people. I mean, and I get it. Look, we all have bills to pay. And if you're not making money, you kind of make life decisions and you're like, well, shit, should I go this way? And then you end up ruining a good opportunity. And I think that takes a level of emotional stability or an emotional intelligence to be able to sustain and withstand all of that. And I know that, we've been doing this for longer than, Ethan and, the younger girl, Katie. And I mean, I've been doing this longer than some of the guys in my office, not just sales, but I mean, not just insurance, but sales. And that's the thing I try to get across. It's like, look, be humble, relax, just continue to put in that daily effort. If you have to adjust certain things in your personal life in order to maintain from a financial standpoint, you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We were sitting there and he's drinking a, $8 smoothie. And I'm like, let's just, you can't complain about, not making money if you're spending money the way you are. You spent $15 on lunch. Well, let's just be honest. I can spend $15 and that'll feed me for 4 days or 3 days. It's just, you got to do it right. And, you got to eat shit to get in a position like where you are. If you want, we talk about it all the time. You have to do the things that other people aren't willing to do in order to get to the places that other people aren't. That's just the cold hard fact of it. So, but on emotional intelligence, man, I think that's an important skill set to have in this business. How do you feel that Ethan and your team are maintaining that? Are they all right, or what's going on?
We're still in the monitoring phase. I take a unique approach when I bring anyone in. And so I never want to develop someone to the point where they're constantly having to be spoon-fed. I want to bring individuals in who are personally motivated. They're self-starters. And for the first probably couple weeks, I kind of just let them go about. I need to see what I'm working with and how they go about it. And then once I figure, because I don't want to come out and try to go a certain way, and that's not really the way that you're learning or developing. So I want to kind of first feel them out, and then from there I see what I'm working with, and then personally I'm like, okay, game on, here we go, right? I think it's one of the things that they drilled into us whenever we were in internship is emotional intelligence, being able to identify certain emotions, being able to understand that you're going to feel a certain way. Your highs can't be so high and your lows can't be so low.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stability portion of it is not making decisions based on emotion. And really, I think they're both doing great with, their highs and lows, but also a lot of that comes from the top. A lot of that they're going to feed off of me. And you have to understand
Yes.
that a lot of the stuff in any organization comes top, whether that organization is thriving and flourishing, or, is it a constant, we're having a crappy month, the leads are shit, the freaking sales are down, what's going on? And you're coming every day like down in the dumps and pissed off or whatever, or are you coming every day saying, man, today's a great day. I don't know who I'm going to talk to. Someone's going to call, or we're going to get a referral from somewhere and we're going to be writing some business. So I think that's just kind of a over time thing. But definitely those that have those two characteristics, and not even just in sales or in employment, but in life, those two things could spill into relationships. I mean, across the board, But it's been something that really resonated with me. And at State Farm, you know, for 6 months, we're a corporate employee and we go through internship, and integrity was like number one that they drilled into us.
Yep.
I know, I want to say it was in our group, by the way, shameless plug, Nick and Nick, the Insurance Dudes podcast. If you haven't joined our group, freaking do it. It's awesome.
Yep.
Get in there.
On Facebook. On Facebook. Sorry.
On Facebook. But yeah, I think you had mentioned, or you'd asked the question, what does integrity mean to you? And, you know, it's doing the right thing no matter who is or isn't watching.
Correct.
Always doing. There's actually my boy Dak, thinking about you, buddy. You're gonna be back next year. You're gonna be killing it. There was a video of him probably like 2 weeks or 2 years ago. It was either last season or 2 seasons ago. He was on the sidelines. He went to throw a cup in the trash, and there just happened to be cameras on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude didn't leave that cup on the ground without even looking around or without knowing that there was a camera on him. He missed. He could have easily walked away and just said, whatever. He went over, picked it up, and actually put it in the trash can. And that's integrity. That's not knowing there's a camera on you, but knowing that I just wanted to throw this away. I missed. It's on the ground. I'm not going to make someone else pick it up for me. Let me go get that and throw it away. Little did he know that Fox camera was on him, and it was like actually like a big deal. Like, wow, this guy's got some integrity.
I remember that. Yep. I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, you know, I think it's often missed, and especially in our line of work, that the consumer's misconception is that we're just trying to sell them something. And then that often bleeds over to the people that, you know, do come in the office or do come and work in this business or in any sales role. And they think that they're enamored by the amount of money the guy at the top's making. They think they got to get there quick. And, you know, it's the instant gratification society that we live in. And, you know, you said something that really resonates with me, because somebody once said to me, a man much smarter told me that attitude reflects leadership. And I truly believe that. You know, in my office, culture is a very big thing, and it has to be motivating, it has to be uplifting, and you have to hold people accountable for that. And you find the people that don't know or they don't have the capacity to be integral. They don't do the right things, and inevitably those people only last 6 months. And it's a tough racket to be in, what we do. And if you don't have the resiliency and the emotional intelligence to get through it, the integrity will never be there, right? Because in my opinion, you've just got to continue to ride the middle of the wave. Like you said, highs not so high, lows not so low, but be able to sustain and understand that I'm not going to make $100,000 in 6 months. And if you do, then you're an anomaly, like of 0.1%. And it's just,
or there's some ethical things that may
exactly.
not be going on.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about that emotional stability as like a roller coaster, right? And so if you think like at Six Flags, you as a leader, you're up front. Mm-hmm. And so when you're riding that wave, right, you're taking your team on this ride, but your team is behind you. And so when you're on the climb,
they're on the yep, that makes sense.
And you go over the hill and you're coming back down, they're still on that climb. And so you're kind of whipping them back and forth, right? So I'm a very visual person. And so I always try to envision things. And for me, that's what I envision, is that roller coaster, and your team is getting whipped up and down. And so you've gone, your high was high, and then your low is low, and you're already back up, but your team is still dragging back there. And they're relying upon like a wave. Mm-hmm. And so if you're just real super even keeled, they're going to be right there with you. They're not going to be constantly or like sitting in the back of the bus, you know?
Yeah, dude, that's a great, I have never heard that analogy. That is absolutely fantastic, because it truly gives you the visual perspective. And I'm a visual person too, that when you're here, you know, 8 trains or 8 cars back, your new guys, or the guys that aren't where you are right now, they're feeling what, you know, they're on that emotional train. I don't know. I could probably try and say it, but I don't have the words for it right now. But that's awesome, dude. I really love that analogy. And I know that we both have a lot of things going on today, and I'm going to end us with that awesome analogy. And, you know, just thank everybody for joining us today. You know, I know that you guys are taking time out of your day to listen to Nick and I talk about things that might not be relevant to you, but also might be relevant. And, you know, I firmly believe that as long as we document and talk about these things, that there will be someone that resonates with it. And I hope that we can continue touching people, not just in the U.S., but also in Indonesia, and having fun with it. So
Wait,
I'm going to let you.
Has it already been 20 minutes?
20 minutes and yeah, it's 21.
No.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy.
Dude, get out. We just started this thing.
I know. We're trying to, for everybody, we're trying to keep it down a little bit because we know that we can both talk. And let's be honest, I mean, there's a lot of content out there, and we want to make sure that we're holding y'all's attention and at the same time providing you with something useful and something that you can take and apply to your everyday life, because we can all have these great ideas, but nothing matters unless you're actually applying it to daily life. So
you gotta keep them wanting more, man. You gotta keep them wanting more. You know what I mean?
There it is. I'm gonna let you close this out, though, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Well, hey, I've really enjoyed this. I can tell I enjoy it because it literally goes by like. I mean, I feel like we just got started, and I've I just got like from first to second gear, and I've got like 10 gears, you know?
Yep.
So, but yeah, I've got a busy day lined up. I got to write some policies, and I think I got an appointment here in a little bit, but man, yeah, really appreciate everyone that's watched so far. If you wouldn't mind, join the group, like it, share, and really, if you want to engage with us, do so. But definitely we thank y'all for joining us on this journey. Thanks for watching. And until next time, y'all be safe.
Do work. Crush it, Nick. Have a great day.
All right, man. You too.
Later, bub.
Take it easy.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. All right.